Hey, welcome to Business Influencers. My name is Chris Salem. Hope everybody is having a great week. You found us here at TALRadio.org, part of the Touch of Life Foundation, and we are excited that you're here. We hope that you're checking out many of the great shows here on the TAL Radio platform. We've been around now for going on over 4 years, and this show continues to grow because of you, the listeners, and we are excited each and every week bringing subject matter experts to share their words of wisdom and insights to help elevate your business and your level of influence to the next level. If there's any content that you would like to hear on a future show, don't hesitate to give us out a call to let us know what you're looking for, and we'll see if we can accommodate on a future show. And you can reach out to us here at chris@christophersalem.com. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types, an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, this is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to come in and generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. Now, since it's a membership program, it offers a wide array of different services not available to the general public based on both a professional and personal development areas. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about how focus will help you to achieve your goals in 2025. And this is going to be really important because if we don't have focus, then you're not going to, again, that comes from clarity. Are you really going to be hitting those goals like you think you are? Well, you're going to find out from one of the best in this area. His name is Andy Goldstrom. Andy is the founder of Midcourse Advisors, a rapid growth coaching, speaking, consulting company for business owners, entrepreneurs, and executive leaders. As a two-time Inc. 500 business owner, Andy has leveraged his experience to create a proven set of tools and methodologies to help small to mid-sized company leaders focus on the right approach to scale their businesses, grow rapidly, and avoid costly mistakes. Early in his career, Andy started and built a division of a real estate brokerage company that generated 30% plus margins and grew from 1 to over 500 employees. After that, he took over an existing national recycling company and grew the top line from 70 mil to 100 mil and profit from 10 million to 17 million in 3 years. Both businesses were both designated as Inc. 500 companies, the fastest growing privately held companies nationwide, and subsequently sold to Fortune 500 companies at high multiples. Before launching Midcourse Advisors, he served as global director at a major investment bank where he grew service capabilities over 70 countries while saving 12 million annually. Now, I could keep going on and on and on because Andy's got an impressive record. He's also a professor at Georgia State University, does a lot of work there. And he happens to be from the great state of Connecticut. But, Georgia is also an awesome, awesome state. And I've gotten to know Andy personally. So without further ado, we welcome Andy Goldstrom to start. Andy, how you doing today?
I'm great. Good to see you. Thanks
Good
for
to
the
see you.
intro.
Awesome. Well, we are excited to have you here. So let's talk a little bit about focus. A lot of people have goals. Businesses have goals. Teams have goals. You have the individual that will have goals. But why oftentimes those goals are not often met to the level that the people had anticipated on? They had good intentions, but yet didn't achieve those goals. Could it be that, again, it's that level of focus wasn't there?
Sure. Well, I might disagree with you off the bat in that not everybody has goals.
Oh,
So,
some people don't have goals. You're right.
right? So if your firm's goals aren't clear, if individual goals aren't clear, if it's not clear how the individual's going to contribute to the whole, what support they're going to get, and how they're going to benefit, then it's not clear how the team is going to accomplish its work. And some companies and firms do that, do that very well. Most that I work with don't. And, I do strategic planning for companies to help make that clear and actually have a specific action plan relating to achieving those goals as opposed to just having the goals.
Yeah. I mean,
But
just a goal. Yeah, just a goal in itself is not really, unless it's really broken down. Can you go into a little bit more about if companies that maybe don't have goals, or if they do, but they're not clearly defined and broken down?
sure. So, everybody's heard of what a SMART goal is, right? So you know that it needs, that acronym. Um, but socialize it, communicate it, document it, be transparent about it. I have clients that have a screen in the entrance to the private space or in their little cafeteria space that literally has KPIs for that are projected on a moment by moment basis that's just connected to a computer. And I have clients that are like, I don't want people to understand my revenue, the revenue, because they're going to ask for more money.
Yeah,
But a rising ocean helps everybody, and transparency helps everybody,
I
right?
agree
So,
100%.
so I think, and there are some firms that do top-down approaches, but I think the key is especially in this day and age with hybrid work and trying to manage that, or remote work, or even moving back to the office 100% of the time, just knowing what is in it for the employee, knowing what the employee can contribute. And I've always looked, I work with professional services firms for the most part. So in professional services, it's all about the employee.
Yeah,
Because they're the ones who are closest to the customer. And if the employee is motivated, if the employee acts like an owner, it makes all the difference in the world. Having goals that are really thought through are important. And it's not a goal that's just thrown out there. It's a goal that could be substantiated in terms of something that's achievable, looking at the competition, the political environment, the economic environment, the competition, all of these things. And most of the clients I work with don't really have a good business plan. They don't have a budget, they don't have a business plan, they're not measuring their progress and making adjustments along the way. My company's called Midcourse Advisors. Started from the beginning where, it's a rocket analogy where 80% of a rocket's flight is making adjustments to get to its destination. You have the launch, and then you have the rocket coming back to Earth, or nowadays, or landing in the ocean. But most of the flight of a rocket is the mid-course. And when a rocket is shot off to get to a certain place, or a satellite, it never gets to that place because there are too many things that are coming at it. So you have to make these adjustments along the way. And having goals gives you a baseline against which to work. And establishing goals makes you smarter about how to predict those goals go forward, so that you can make investments. Who am I going to hire and when? How much money can I take as a distribution? What is it that's going to allow me to confidently achieve my goals based upon what I've achieved in the past and the adjustments I've made in the past?
so true. And what you said about, that mid-course, and it happens to be the name of your company, it's about agility. We have to adapt. But if you don't have a plan, you don't have certain goals, how are you going to adapt and adjust to those uncertainty, to those things that happen? So you have to have that up front in order to make those changes or adapt to those changes.
Yeah, we talked about focus, and I
Yeah.
know we haven't gotten quite there yet because we got stuck on goals. But a lot of business owners don't look at goals or a year-long picture because they're trying to manage their cash flow. They're trying to get to that next client. They don't have the confidence because they don't have the roadmap. And so the analogy I like to use is looking out at learning how to drive. When you first learn how to drive, you're not experienced being behind the wheel, and you're not confident. You don't know what to look for. And so what you end up doing is just looking just past the hood of your car. That's all you can see is right past the hood of your car. And so what I teach and instruct and coach is looking down the highway, looking down the road while you're trying to achieve your shorter term goals as well. And I think the issue is people in today's world, given phones, given the amount of information that's coming at them, given the way they manage by interruption, hurts their focus. And, focus, there's an acronym for focus: follow one course until successful.
Yeah.
And so it's, people get interrupted and managed by interruption. And there's been a study done that says there's a fundamental need. I'm reading something from a Harvard Business Review. There's a fundamental need for completion that makes switching our attention quite difficult for the brain to execute. So we hold on to incomplete work instead of putting it aside, even when a switch of focus is necessary. So we put interrupting tasks in front of ourselves and execute them poorly as a result. And there have been studies that have been done about that with relating to focus. And so that's kind of on a day-to-day basis, just managing by interruption. But so there are ways to be able to manage your focus better on a day-to-day basis, especially for leaders or owners of firms. And that includes block calendaring, where you're really only focusing on that type of task during that time segment during that day. I'm working on marketing from 11 to 12 on Tuesday. That's all I'm working on. There's nobody going to interrupt me. I'm not answering my phones. Those are the things I'm working on because I've allocated the time to do that. And I realize it's an important part to propel my business forward. On a broader basis, it's about the shiny object syndrome. I can't tell you how many clients I have who hear something about, a different kind of option that they could grow their business. They listen to a podcast, they go to a meeting, they hear something interesting, and it attracts their attention. And what it does is it diverts their attention from their goals. And they don't realize that they're not really suited probably to take advantage of that because it's not in their wheelhouse. And they've got a lot of runway left in terms of what they're doing currently now that they could take advantage of to grow their revenue and profit. So, example, working with a real estate attorney who instead of just focusing on commercial work wants to do residential work too, or someone who is an IP lawyer in the life sciences who's interested, instead of just talking to life sciences people, starting to maybe provide IP services for the vet community, meaning veterinarians, not veterans.
Yeah. So
I was able to, I work with my clients to try and have them come to their own conclusions, but basically talk to them about the path to achieve those things if they were going to divert some of their attention to those things. And it kind of became fairly obvious.
Well, you made some great points about focus. So many people operate in this realm of distractions, and oftentimes they're multitasking, thinking they're getting more things done. But everything is energy, and when you are diverting your energy to other things that you're doing at the same time that really don't matter or maybe not as important, are you really focused, like you said, on those priorities that truly matter in your business? What would you say when you're working with a business owner that finally that kind of registers and they're like, wow, you know what, Andy, I've been doing quite a bit of that. I multitask a lot and I tend to kind of just react to every little fire that comes away. How do you work with them to develop that focus, to kind of break that pattern of kind of shooting from the hip and kind of reacting how they've been doing all along?
Yeah, like any other issue that people have, the first thing is just acknowledging it. So if people acknowledge that sometimes they get derailed, we all do. It's a human thing. It's okay. But acknowledging the impact of that, depending upon how troubling or challenging it is. So that's the first thing. And then I think the second thing is just having the approach. It's not all of a sudden you wake up one day and say, I need to get more focused, and it just happens, right? If that were the case, people wouldn't have weight problems or alcohol problems or, or other problems. They would just change on a dime. So I think the key thing is a couple things. One is having those goals so you know what to focus on. And what I do in my practice is I make sure that we have priorities set up for the owner, and that's personal, professional, and financial. It's not just about growing the top line or the bottom line. It's about, well, I got little kids. I can't work at 8 o'clock at night and work 50 hours a week. Okay. I respect that. You want to be a good family person. That's fine. We'll work around that so you can meet your personal needs. Because if you're not spending time with your kids and your partner or spouse is not happy with you as a result and your kids are not getting your time, then your business is going to suffer too. And then professionally, people want to grow. Is it I want to become more of a leader in my firm as opposed to becoming a manager of the day-to-day operations, and how do I get there? And then obviously financially, how do we want to grow too? So we look at that, and then it's a process that enables them to have the approach. So it's creating a business plan, and and then frankly, what I do is I have monthly focus to achieve your budget every month that I coach through, and also 90-day plans where we look at 3 key initiatives that we try and accomplish. And 90 days is the time frame because it's not too long, but it's long enough that if you're trying to move the needle forward on something major, like hiring a new person and getting them trained, like implementing a new software, like improving your process, you can get that done in 90 days and see the difference. And so by focusing on just 3 things, as opposed to trying to do 15 things or more, having that focus. And I think, when people ask me what's the key to being a good business coach, a lot of it just has to do with working alongside your clients and having mutual accountability. So it's, if someone knows that there's a goal and there's a check-in and they need me to do something to help them out, they can go to the bank knowing that I'm going to be there for them and I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I always tell people I was never smart enough or good looking enough or articulate enough to be able to fool people. So it's only based upon trust and actually executing good work. And so I think that accountability really helps. And then it's a mindset shift. We're from Connecticut. Mark Twain had a presence in Connecticut, and he's quoted, from 150 plus years ago as saying, "I love progress. It's great. It's the change I hate." And so, if you realize the benefits of changing your behavior a little bit, it's good, but it's a lot more than just talking through it and somebody saying, "Oh, I get it. I'm just going to change that."
So true. No, you made some really great points there. And, and would it be safe to say that, everybody's going to be on a different level, and it's a process. Learning how to become more focused is a process. It's not something like you said, you flip a switch and okay, everyone's going to be focused now. No, it doesn't work that way. And that accountability, and it starts with that commitment. Are they willing to do their part and be accountable, and knowing that when they slip up, okay, you slipped up. What can we do to work through that? Navigate like something like, if you could, share with the audience, like it can even be an actual case study or, somebody you've worked with. You don't have to name the company by any means, or who it is, but just how they elevated their level of a focus through the process that you walk them.
Sure. So I work with professional services firms. So it could be anything that offers a service. And most of them are like law firms and financial advisors, CPAs, technology, people who do technology, software, real estate firms, where people have had, have a good background. They have a license and have gone to school for a designated license, but they really don't have the experience of managing all the different parts of a business to help it scale. And so those are the primary folks I work with. But but I have a client who has a dog grooming facility, and she loves dogs. She has a great value proposition, doesn't know how to manage the business, right? So I got referred to her, and it's a great partnership. The example I'm going to give is somebody who has kind of a tent rental party planning kind of business. And the owner was focused on growing their top line when they came to me. They had a business in Atlanta, and they wanted to continue to grow, but they had a problem. So the problem was that this person wasn't a real good people person and manager, just a real hard driver and smart. And rather than focus on addressing that problem, they thought that it would be better if they opened new locations in Nashville and Birmingham. And so, again, the problem was in the backyard. The focus was being diverted to other places because they thought that would be better and would solve the problem. So I asked the client, have you gotten help to really figure out how to tackle this human resource issue so that you can retain people and get higher performance? And have you researched in terms of what the proper pay scale is and what the incentives are for your team? And have you created an org chart that actually helps create the connectivity and connective tissue in your company to help it grow? No, we just we've just kind of hired and grown so fast and kind of thrown it together, and I haven't done it before, And I said, do you have how much of the market in Atlanta do you have for these kind of things? Is it 50%? Throwing out a huge number out there.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. Is it 10%? No.
Yep.
Is it even 1%? Probably not. And I said, so I think there's room for growth if we can solve this issue, because if you have people problems in your backyard, how is it going to get any better with opening new locations where you have to hire people that are 4 or 5 hours away?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And so focused back on Atlanta, created a plan around that. I trained him on how to manage his team better, and then it took off.
Andy, this is such valuable information that you are sharing, and we definitely want to do another show on this area of focus with you, and we're going to do in the future. We're getting near the end of the show, and I want to make sure that people here have an opportunity to get to know you, as they did here on the show. How can they find you? What are you up to? And anything that you'd like to offer the audience?
Yeah, a couple things. One is, approaches help, and that's a big part of what I do, but tools also help. And there's a tool that I've rolled out recently for my clients called the Growth Compass, which is basically an online app that allows people to track KPIs financially and operationally, as well as track their 90-day plans, as well as track their process improvement. And so people can actually, I haven't done it yet, but I will be shortly. I use it with my clients. The reaction, they've had input into it, so I didn't just put it out there like a field of dreams. And it's really helping them stay focused, because they have to report to me on their progress and think about it in advance rather than just when we're on our calls. So that's probably going to be available for those who don't want to work with me as a coach shortly. So that's kind of a differentiator, I think, for me
Yeah.
and for my clients. And and the rest of it is just, I've sold a couple companies. I've helped others grow and then sell theirs. I'm not in for this for the, to try and put more money in the bank and maximize everything I can do. I'm really about trying to continue to stay connected and impactful, and enjoy the work that I do. And so, I offer a low, a very non-pushy, consult for free that anybody can sign up for. That, if they're just resources and connections I can provide for you, or, I'm happy to do that outside of my coaching. And if I can help with coaching, I'd certainly love to see if I can help you too. And my website is midcourseadvisors.com, and it's got a lot of information about me and what I do, and an opportunity to sign up for a free consult right from the website.
Great. And we're going to make sure, everybody, that all of Andy's contact information, it will be in the show notes. So make sure, again, reach out to Andy. He definitely can offer you a lot of value, and I know that firsthand. So again, we encourage all you listeners, get to know Andy, reach out to him on his website, also reach out to him on LinkedIn. Andy, thank you again from everybody here at Business Influencers and the TALRadio Touch of Life Foundation team. We want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here with Business Influencers. Again, we are committed each and every week bringing in subject matter experts like Andy to help raise your level of influence in your business to the next level, and make a difference and make more impact in the areas that you provide to help people in other industries. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.